fellow Toastmasters and guests. Valentine's Day is coming up, and I wrote a love letter that I want to share with you. I will read it to you. Dear Meritocracy, I am very disappointed in how our relationship has progressed, because you're not the meritocracy I used to know. Instead, you have become a pathological liar, and you steal candy from 4-year-olds. Unless you decide to seek help, we should see other people. Signed, Kevin. Recently, I read a New York Magazine article on the myth of meritocracy. It is basically about how IQ tests like the OLSAT or the WIPC is being used to screen 4-year-olds out from prestigious elementary schools in the city. Well, you should know that according to psychologist David Lohman, 75% of 4-year-olds who place into these gifted programs 75% of these 4-year-olds would not get into that same program if they were to retake that test at 17. This is because it is too early to tell whether a child is gifted at age 4. So after I read this, I tried to imagine how the 4-year-old me would do on these IQ tests. Now, I probably wouldn't have much of a future right now. And I want to take everyone through my confused childhood, my comeback years, and words of engagement. From kindergarten to 5th grade, I was a confused but happy child. I actually only had 1 month of kindergarten because my birthday is in June, and the schools back then wouldn't take me until I turned exactly 5. My family moved around a lot, so I never really stayed at any one school for more than 2 years. And on top of that, I am a second-generation American, and English is my second language. But I was very happy because I didn't do any homework. It seemed that the less homework that I did, the happier I was. In 4th grade, my teacher would ask me for homework every day, and I would reply, "No, Mrs. Winchar," and then I would go back to talking to whoever was sitting next to me. If there were any real consequences, I was pretty carefree about it. But then my junior high school years came, and I was disappointed because I didn't get into my ideal school. 3 years later, I was disappointed again because I didn't get into my ideal high school. Then after my freshman year, when I finished with mostly C's and D's, I decided that I started to think that I want to go to my college of choice. But if my fate was sealed at age 4, I wouldn't have had much of a comeback. In my sophomore year, I started to work very hard to change the course of my destiny. I did all of my homework, and I would show up to class early to prepare myself. My grades eventually improved, and I got into the honors class and the AP classes. However, it was very hard because it's very hard to go from getting mediocre grades for the past 10 years to achieving at a competitive level in 3 years' time. What got me through was the encouragement from my teachers and one admissions officer who said to me that it is never too late to do anything. I believe that it is never too late to do anything because it encourages change. When I was in high school, my neighbor came to me and asked if I would tutor her son. His name was Ohm, and he reminded me a lot of myself, which meant that it was very hard to get him to focus. Now, I'm not a very good tutor, and I did lose my patience at times, but I explained to him that school matters and you can do it. But then a few months later, I started to get busy at school and I had to stop. And I didn't think about Ohm after that. And I went on to college. I worked for a few years, and now I'm in graduate school studying policy. So not too long ago, I was thinking about how I'm going to make a difference. And then Om stopped by. He came to thank me for helping him and believing in him. And I didn't expect that. It reinforced for me how a few words of encouragement can change somebody's life. Now that I have taken you through my confused childhood, my comeback years, and the words of encouragement, I want to leave everyone with a definition of meritocracy. According to Merriam-Webster, it is a system in which the talented are chosen and moved ahead on the basis of their achievement. I see meritocracy as a place where anyone at any point in their life can move ahead and they can grow. Whether we are 4 years old or 90 years old, it is never too late to choose our own destiny. Mr. Toastmaster?